I'm going to tell you something that you don't hear from a lot of people on YouTube, and that's to stop pre-ordering. Anytime there is a new camera, a new light, a new piece of equipment, audio gear, whatever the technological upgrade is, there's someone on YouTube telling you to go pre-order it and use their affiliate links down in the description and all that stuff, right? And I get it. I get why people use the affiliate links. I use them too. If you use any of the Amazon links in this video or other videos, it helps me out. So I get the affiliate links, but please stop pre-ordering. In all of these videos, you see people telling you, oh, go pre-order this camera. It just got announced. It's so amazing. It's so great. It's such an upgrade. And they basically read you the spec sheet of what the marketing department for this company has put out, and then they tell you to go pre-order it, or they encourage you to do it. Stop pre-ordering these cameras. Okay, they're not out, so you have no idea if it's actually going to be as great as the spec sheet says. And even if you're worried about getting it on day one, I mean, what are the chances that you actually need it the day it's released? None of these things end up being hard to find unless there's some limited edition, but that's hardly ever the case. The only time you may want to pre-order is if it's really, 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 really high-end stuff, but that's not going to be listed on Amazon, okay? So all the stuff that's on Amazon or on B&H or wherever the affiliate links are taking you, stop pre-ordering, because you're basically just telling these companies that, like, yes, you're going to give them your money and you just have to wait. And you have to wait till this thing actually ships. And guess what? Maybe the autofocus isn't as good as you want. Wink, wink. Maybe it doesn't come out when you expect. Maybe it's missing features. Wink, wink, like global shutter, right? All these things, they get announced. They sound great. Someone tells you to go pre-order it. And if you do that, you're giving away your money for something that is not even a reality yet. Okay, and I get why the people on YouTube tell you to do it, because they get a cut from it. You don't have to spend more, so it's really not necessarily a bad thing. But how can you recommend something that isn't actually out there, that hasn't been reviewed, that hasn't gone through the battle testing that happens in actual production and actual real-world environments? There are tons of people who do this, and I get really frustrated every time I see a video that's like, you know, first impressions or first hands-on or this just announced, and then they tell you to go pre-order it. It drives me nuts. And I'm not going to call any of the people that actually do it. I don't need to start any beef. This is for you, whoever's watching this. Just don't do it. Use their affiliate links for stuff that they've actually used, that they've bought with their own money, or that they've acquired through other legal means. And, you know, after it's been reviewed, after it's out in the wild, when it's really on store shelves and you can actually buy it. The pre-order thing, it does you no good. There's no reason why you should have to pre-order something. It's only a benefit for the company, so they know how many to make, they know how many to ship, they can control their quantities a little bit better. But even that, it doesn't even matter. How many people pre-ordered the GH5 and yet they're like out of stock? You know, these things happen like all the time. Things are out of stock, they're in stock. It doesn't matter. You probably don't need it on day one, and it's never going to get like more expensive. That's hardly ever going to be the case. You know, it's not like if you pre-order it like on Kickstarter, you at least have some kind of benefit. You get something a little bit cheaper because you're funding the project, or there's extra perks thrown in. When you're pre-ordering, you're not getting anything extra most of the time. Maybe they throw in a little something like, oh, you get a lens cleaner or something stupid, but really, you know, even if you're worried about having it at the very beginning, you can always like rent it, because all the rental places get it early because they're probably pre-ordering it too, but they have a business reason and incentive to do it. And maybe you have a very specific case where you absolutely need to pre-order. Well, then I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to the average consumer, the person who's looking at the newest stuff, or maybe they're considering upgrading their camera. They haven't bought something in a couple of years. They're looking at some new lenses. They haven't bought one of those in a couple of years. There's no reason to pre-order, and it makes me really frustrated when I see people telling other people to pre-order, because there is no reason to do it. So just stop.